Okay, now for some stories. Stories are always a good way to connect with students because everybody likes to hear a good story, but especially when the story is relative to teenagers and what they go through. This month's Pop Culture Classroom Connection topic is kind of about who we are, what clique we fall into, because I always tell students, it's not what you want to be that is the most important thing to know about yourself. It's who you want to be. And most students identify themselves with the group that they hang out with. And this particular story comes from one of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. And this is about two girls who thought they knew who they wanted to be and what they identified themselves with, and then later realized that your identity doesn't need to be a particular group or whatever, that the real you is who you really should identify yourself with, not just this particular group and that particular image. But this comes to us from the group of queens, like in the movie Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan, and going back even further, the movie Clueless with Alicia Silverstone. Those are queens, like all about image and beauty and like rule the school type of thing. So this story is called Behind the Scenes of Two Queens. Bored with my life, irritated at who I was, and aching for change, I decided that middle school was the perfect time to introduce the new me to the world. My goal wasn't to become popular. I was simply yearning for a new life. But as I began to morph from an awkward, frizzy-haired, acne-infested, brace-face to a smiling, straight-haired, lip-glossed teeny bopper, that was what happened. She became popular. My peers flocked to my side, and I was swept up into a whirlwind of parties and gossip and friends and boys and makeup and drama. Life in the fast lane, and I loved it. Loved to be in the in crowd. And in that radical transformation, I met Laurie. We became best friends. We were inseparable. We spent the days together with the air conditioner buzzing, the TV blasting, brand new glossy magazines strewn across our Winnie the Pooh bed sheets sticking to our shaved, lotioned up legs. We would point at the pictures of beauty, ladder-like stomachs, narrow calves, straight blonde, highlighted hair. Inspired by these images of perfection, we'd spend hours at the drugstore searching for the perfect eyeliner, cover-up, or lipstick, and then rush home to create the sultry looks on our own pale, young faces. 3 times a week we would go to the gym, passing mothers and fathers, old people and teenage boys training for track. We'd run until we were the fastest and the most graceful, the most beautiful. We'd sit across from each other on the thigh machines, leaning forward, straining, counting breathlessly to 100. Or we'd sit side by side on the ab machines, grunting in pain as we tried to rid ourselves of our love handles and baby fat. We would take breaks to sip at the water fountain and watch others work out. In visions of their dedication, we would set weight goals for ourselves. 98 pounds, 95 pounds, 90 pounds. After working out, we would slip into our colorful, tiny 2-piece bathing suits and ease into the hot, bubbling fizz of the jacuzzi. Our eyes closed, we would sit in the water, beaded with wetness, listening to the jets and feeling our bodies pulsing in the heat. Our friendship seemed simple. We were the teen queens. The coolest in the grade. With our trendy clothes, hair ironed straight, and faces painted, we strutted through the hallways, savoring the attention of basking in others' envy. We were smiling images of perfection. Polaroids of future prom queens. We looked so happy, so confident, and so carefree. But images can often be deceptive. Sometimes, if you look close enough, you can see through the eyeliner and mascara and into the eyes. If you looked closely at either of us, you would see that we were simply living a facade. We knew it, and that was why we were best friends. Because together we could be insecure and imperfect together. Together it was okay to be ourselves. Laurie and I no longer speak. It wasn't a devastating, heartbreaking fallout. Rather, it happened naturally, slowly, over time. Neither of us are teen queens like we once were. Without each other, the power was lost, the charisma was gone, and each of us was left only with ourselves. I thought that I needed Laurie. I thought I needed her and our status as the most popular to be happy. being with her, being a part of the in crowd, made me feel visible, like I was seen, and there was no need to question anything. I felt alive. I thrived in the spotlight and reveled in the attention. But as I have grown, my dependence on others to blossom has dissipated. I realized that the it girl that I once was just really wasn't me. It was me simply playing the part. It was me going through the motions of who I thought I was supposed to be. This comes from Jessica. She's age 17. She found the true her and realized that that friend that she got mixed up in wasn't really the true her. She was just playing to an image based on an insecurity. And once she found the true her, she realized, well, you know, me and Laurie, we don't even have anything in common, really, because they just found that insecurity together. A lot of times that's what cliques do. These kids are insecure about who they are, and so they flock to this one group that gives them an identity because they don't know who they are, and that identity feels good for a while. And unfortunately, some of those groups are really bad for you. Like this girl and Laurie didn't end up doing anything that was like really horrible, but some groups do. Some groups leave you with a lifetime of consequences for what you did when you identified yourself with something, and what you identified yourself with isn't really the true you anyway. So this story, as well as what I just said, is you can just pitch it straight to your teenagers like that. If you're gonna read it, there's a transcription of what I just read, so you can just sit there and read it. Read it like I pitched it, with some personality, connecting with them, looking at them, making eye contact, making the most points. And if you want to just show that video clip of me reading it, you're certainly welcome to. If you have access to that and want to show it in your classroom, that's perfectly okay too. Let them know that it's a story, and it's from a young girl, it's from a teenager perspective, two teenagers, and then talk to them about the lesson behind the story, of course, which is who you identify yourself with, what group and what clique, and is that really you? You know, is that really, really the true you, or are you putting on a show like this girl did, and like a lot of people do?